In this video, I will explain RDA determinations. I will go through the RDA determination report that was issued to your LEA in June, and I will explain each element of the report, the indicators that go into calculating it, how the calculations are made, and what it all means in general. There are other resources on the Idaho Training Clearinghouse website that have more information on what the required activities are that are related to each of the differentiated support levels. So that is not the purpose of this video, but that information is out there and is posted on the website. This is the first page of the Results-Driven Accountability Determination Report. This video will be applicable as long as it's up on our webpage and will be updated if there are any changes. Let's take a look at the first page of the RDA determination report. You'll see your LEA name at the top. Underneath we have the RDA determination, and there are 4 determination categories: meets requirements, needs assistance, needs intervention, and needs substantial intervention. The LEA's RDA determination is based on the RDA determination percentage. LEAs are rank ordered by RDA determination percentage, and the percentiles are calculated. An LEA is placed into meets requirements if their rank places them above the 20th percentile. This means that 80% of LEAs will be placed into meets requirements. An LEA is placed into needs assistance if their rank places them between the 6th and 20th percentiles. So 15% of LEAs will fall into needs assistance. And an LEA is placed into needs intervention if their percentile ranking is below the 6th percentile. This means that 5% of LEAs will fall into needs intervention. The RDA determination of needs substantial intervention is made on a case-by-case basis. This next box here is the differentiated level of support, and these levels of support are aligned with the RDA determination. So if your determination is meets requirements, your level of support will be level 1, supporting and guiding. This will be universal support category. If your RDA determination is needs assistance, your level of support will be level 2, assisting and mentoring. And if your determination is needs intervention, your level of support will be level 3, directing. Now, under those 2 boxes is this table here, and this is the scoring area, so you can see how many points and the percentage that your LEA earned in each of the areas. In the determinations, we have 2 scoring areas. We have the results area and we have the compliance area. We will go into those in more detail. These are the points earned, the total points available, and then the percentage. And then the RDA determination is just an average of the results area and the compliance area. Each of those areas is weighted at 50%, so it's simply the sum of the 2 percentages divided by 2. Now the next page is the results area. On the left-hand side here, you can see each of the data elements that are taken into account when calculating these scores. The first is graduation, which is indicator 1. Indicator 2 is dropout. And then we have participation and performance on the ISAT. So we have indicator 3B, which is participation. We have that in ELA. And then we have indicator 3C, which is proficiency in ELA. And then underneath we have math participation and math performance. Now in the past we have broken the determinations out into 4th and 8th graders. And this year we have started a new process of including all students. We've done that for multiple reasons. When only 4th and 8th graders are considered, we leave out a lot of other students, and then it's a lot harder to compare scores year to year since they're different students. So by including all students, it will allow us to see growth in a better way than when just including 4th and 8th grade students. So in this column here, we have the 2018-19 state target, and then here is the LEA percentage. And then we've got the score from 1 to 4. Now, another thing that we've done differently this year is instead of just using the current year's data, we are using 2 years worth of data. We did that because many of our LEAs have few students with disabilities, and so it makes it really difficult to calculate percentages when you have such small numbers. By using 2 years worth of data, we were able to add the numerators together and add the denominators together, and that just gives us a much better sense of the percentages. They're much less volatile than if we use really small numbers. You can see down here in the explanation, data for indicators 3B and 3C, which are assessment, participation, and performance, are from 17-18 and 18-19 school years, and data for graduation and dropout, which are indicators 1 and 2, are from 16-17 and 17-18. So the scoring this year is the same as it was last year. If the LEA met the target, then they are awarded 4 points. If they were within 80% of the target, they're awarded 3 points. Within 60% of the target, 2 points. And within 40% of the target or below, then they were awarded 1 point. If the LEA did not have students, say they are an elementary district and they don't have graduation or dropout, or if the LEA did not meet the minimum number of students requirement, they receive an NA in that category and they don't receive a score. And that does not count against the LEA's overall score. Their total points possible is just reduced. So as I was saying before, when faced with small numbers, it doesn't give us an accurate picture of the actual percentages. So this year we have instituted a minimum number of 20 students that are necessary in the denominator of the calculation to be able to give a score for that indicator. So in this example, this LEA had an NA in graduation, so that would have meant that they did not have 20 students over the 2-year period that could have graduated. So they were not awarded a score, and the percentage has an NA there. Okay, so the total results score is the sum of the above cells, and the total points possible is 24 if you have data for each of those results indicators, but varies by LEA. So LEAs who don't meet that minimum N size requirement might have a total points possible of fewer than the total of 24. Okay, now we're going to talk about the compliance area. This is the compliance indicators table, and there on the left-hand side you can see the compliance indicators. These have stayed consistent from last year's determinations. Those indicators are 4B, which is significant discrepancy by race, ethnicity, and the rates of suspensions and expulsions. Indicator 9 is the disproportionate representation of racial and ethnic groups in special ed as a result of inappropriate identification. Indicator 10 is similar to indicator 9, but it's of specific disability categories. Indicator 11 is 60-day timeline. Indicator 12 is Part C to Part B early childhood transition. And indicator 13 is secondary transition. And then we've got one indicator under timely and accurate data, which is correction of GSFR non-compliance. And like in the results matrix, we have the targets there. The targets for 4B, 9, and 10 are all 0, and they're always 0. And the targets for indicators 11, 12, and 13 are always 100%. And in this compliance area, all of the data comes from the 2018-19 school year. It's just 1 year's worth of data. So then there's that 2018-19 percentage, and then the score. And the scoring system is the same as the results area. And then the compliance matrix percentage is also calculated the same as the results matrix percentage. I'm going to go on to another example. Some LEAs that have few students did not meet the minimum N size requirements in the results area, and therefore we performed a qualitative review on those LEA's data, and I'm going to talk about that. If your LEA has an NA here in the results area and an NA here in the RDA determination percentage, that means a qualitative review was performed for your LEA. And this is what your results indicators table will look like. You'll have a short description at the top of why your LEA did not meet the minimum number of students requirements. And that is because to complete a quantitative review, an LEA must have 20 total students over those 2 years for 4 out of 6 of the results indicators. If your LEA did not meet this requirement, then a qualitative review was performed for your LEA. And your LEA was given a determination category and differentiated level of support based on other criteria. So these criteria included looking at 3 years worth of results indicator data, but the numbers of students in each of those indicators were taken into account, as were the percentages and growth that was seen. Another element that was taken into account was where your LEA fell in a percentile ranking for the results indicators that did meet the minimum N size requirements. So say your LEA did have enough students that took the ISAT. They had over 20 students in those 2 years worth of data, then that data point was ranked amongst all LEAs, and the percentile ranking was looked at in relation to that indicator. The compliance indicators were taken into account, and they were weighted at 50%, just like for everybody else. And we also took into account the general supervision file review number of items that were reviewed in 2018-19 and found in compliance. So your LEA was placed into the determination category and level of support that most closely aligned with the patterns that we saw in your LEA's data. So this is an example of what some LEA's results indicators table would look like. And you can see here that the 3 years worth of data is presented. And then an LEA that had a qualitative review would have the same compliance table that everybody else had. That's all I have for you. I wanted to keep this brief, but there is detailed information in the RDA monitoring system guidance document that can be found on the Idaho Training Clearinghouse website. Please refer to that website for detailed information. It's got lots of other resources. It has the activities that are associated with each differentiated level of support and their due dates. And please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, need any technical assistance, have any data questions. I am always more than happy to help whenever I can. So there's my email address, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.